Welcome to the Fantasy HQ podcast, all things NRL Fantasy. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Your hosts, Frosty and Stevo. Welcome back, Frosty. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, Stevo. Enjoying this. Good to have fantasy back. Like I said in the first one, the off season was long. I thought I was aging by 20 years, but it's here. I've tried to stay away from the app a little bit. Have been trying to get the old change of team itis, but now we're ripping into this. Yeah, juices are flowing and energy levels are high. So looking forward to it.
I'll tell you one thing. This off season, I didn't actually put much thought into NRL because we went pretty hard last few years to be fair, and I sort of tried to relax off it. I didn't jump into the app. I haven't studied it all. I haven't looked through anything. I haven't been keeping up with team news, so I've sort of coming into a little bit green, a little bit fresh, but it's I've already got that excitement back. So just from tonight, it's all flowing back to me. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, geez, coming up, I'm going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday stuck in front of the TV. And I've already told my wife, I'm like, we're not going to be able to watch our show soon.
Yeah, put those on hold for a good 6 months.
Yeah, they do go on hold, all right. Come 10 o'clock on a Thursday night, right? See you later.
Oh, yeah.
New Zealand time, of course, so yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with the NRL Fantasy HQ podcast, all things NRL Fantasy, and today we're talking about some learnings from last season and how we can put into play this year. So, Frosty, what do you have for us?
Yeah, going off one of our previous episodes with talking about the top 20 owned players at the moment. So, that's sort of where the pack's going. In previous years, I haven't really been that player who likes to stay with the pack. I see those 30%, 40% owned players, and I'm just like, nah, not me. I want the pods. I want the 5%, the 4%, and I really want to go against the grain. And it's burnt me big time. So last year, for the first time, I made a bit of a conscious effort to, stay with the pack. Wasn't natural to me. Found it hard, but bit the bullet, and as a result, I started much better. Previous years going against it, if it doesn't go your way, you find yourself 30, 40, 50,000 2 or 3 weeks in, and straight away you're on the back foot and you're trying to catch up ranks, pressure's on. Whereas if you just play a bit smarter, safer, yes, it's a little bit more boring for us, but at least you're with the pack. Take the same risk with the cash cows, the rookies, and if they do make the cash, you're making the cash with everyone else, those 50k price rise a week, where, if you're missing out on those, it's costly.
Yeah, I agree. Me personally, I'm very much the conservative sort of player. So I do stay with the pack. I try not to make any rash decisions, a bit unlike yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you've got to take risks in fantasy anyway. I mean, if you want to try and win it, or if you want to get far, you've got to take a risk throughout the season. Basically, every trade you make is a risk because you don't know what's going to happen. As long as you put that sort of put a bit of knowledge into it, do a bit of background checks. That's where checking what the pack is doing, because at the end of the day, the pack is that's the majority of people that think this is the right decision, and majority of the time it probably is. And looking at that top 20, it's certainly looking like a lot of those players you sort of want to be on. So yeah, for me, I'm going to be sticking with the pack early. I do think having a hot start though is important, and you don't, as you see, you don't want to be starting in the 50,000 range.
Nah.
Last year for me, it was probably one of my better starts. And I was thinking, this is me. I'm on here. And I ended up 2,200, which for me was a big letdown, having been in the top 1,000 for the previous couple of years. So that sort of for me though is something else we're going to talk about is the buy round. Yes. So, and for me it started with I made this hot start. I'm planning everything around my buy rounds. I end up having 14 or 15 available for the minor buys.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, yep, I've got the perfect team to pick from here. I'm going to pick up some ranks, but I didn't. In previous years, that's
Mm.
where I'd catch up all my ranks. In the previous year, I got 600 odd overall, and that was
Yeah.
through really good buy planning. Buy planning is obviously massive, but I don't think it's somewhere you can really pick up that ground, because I think a lot of people are also planning really well.
Yeah, and I think, in the world we live in today with the world of podcasts and, YouTube and Spotify, there is just so much content and knowledge and insight now that it is making the fantasy competition in the world far stronger.
Yeah,
Four,
definitely.
3, 4 years ago, um, it was a different landscape, but yeah, now the pack is so much wiser. There's so many more people pushing for that top 2,000, top 1,000, top 5,000, that pointy end. So yeah, it's a bit of a game changer. And so those previous years, buys have always been at the forefront of my mind, but that's where it sort of ended. Last year, I went, you know what, got a laptop, why don't I use it? So Google Sheets, and I created a buy planner. Had my squad down the left hand side, rounds 1 to 27 along the top. Green if they're playing, red if it's a buy, Origin, that sort of thing. If it's a pain heart and a certainty for Origin, I just had that already.
Yeah,
Uh, and like you're saying, it didn't really mean I was making ranks through that time, but it meant I wasn't losing ranks. And I
yeah,
think
for
that's really
sure.
important through those times. If you can maintain and you've planned well, you're probably saving trades. And so, yeah, my run home was better until the last couple of weeks. Oh, the luck of fantasy gods weren't on my side. But up until then, the first 25 rounds, I was super happy with it. So I'll have a Google Sheet again, same template. And I think that would be one of my biggest piece of advice for new players. Those buy periods is what derails a lot of seasons. So
For
get something
sure.
visual in front of you, look at it each week, update it. When you make your trades, you've got to get those players out, put the new ones in.
You don't want to go into the situation where they open it up to allowing 4 trades, and it's like, shit, I've got to make 4 trades to be able to field 13 this week. So
Yes.
you don't want to not plan and be stuck in that situation. But
Yeah.
Frosty, you sort of touched on it. You sort of, the last couple of weeks things didn't go too good for you, and it's sort of you sort of need that rub of the green.
Yeah. 100%. We've talked about, the fantasy roller coaster, and yeah, at the end of the day, you just need some luck because, like you've mentioned in other episodes, you make a trade. Every trade is a risk, no matter if that's bringing in the best
Absolutely.
player in a Payne Haas or a Cleary. Um, any player can get knocked out or go down in the first minute or two. There's a zero. Cleary had it last year, I think around 5 or so. Everyone had him captain, went out, scored a 5, and we all copped a 10 as a captain. Um, and so, yeah, my last couple of rounds, I think I had 2 suspensions for like 3 weeks each. I had 3 injuries. I think one was season ending, and then he's gone again in Jolliffe. And then the last round, the restings on top of that just disabled me. And, it wouldn't have mattered if I had 4 trades for both those rounds. I still would have been short. So before that, around 24, 25, I was sitting around that 600 mark. Really happy, excited for those last couple of rounds, and then just that little bit of luck you need, the rub of the green, as you say, didn't have.
Yeah,
One of our good mates, Zamo, and he is a fantasy gun. He's always at the pointy end. He had that. He had his full strength lineup. Those pods that he's bringing in, scoring high, not getting injured. My Jolis, my wee pods place, getting injured and going down and stuff. So, yeah, that little bit of rub of the green you need to make those last wee inroads on people.
speaking of Zamo, there he won the Manly League, I believe.
He
Um,
did for I think
so
the third time as well. So
I think he got a new
representing the
jersey or
Kiwis
something.
well, is Samo.
No, he's a fantastic fantasy player, and I think I'm his bunny. if he's watching this.
Yeah.
I just about knock him out in
Head to
every
head.
head-to-head league. So for me, speaking about head-to-league, one thing I've got is focusing on one or the other. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, you can, if you're going for overall and you're going well, you should be going good in head-to-head. It sort of goes
Yes.
one and one. If you focus on head-to-head, though, I don't think you go good in overall.
No. Yeah.
Um, and last season, for me personally, the last couple of weeks, it came down to, I mean, I'm focusing on overall the whole season, and I've got a good head-to-head team.
Yeah.
And we're coming into the sort of, for me, I sort of had a couple of unlucky rounds in head-to-head, and I needed to make a trade for my quarters to sort of make into the semi. So I made those couple extra trades, which left me a bit
Yeah.
hamstrung the last couple of weeks, and that's where I lost a few hundred ranks. But I mean, for me, it was the better decision because I ended up
Yes.
winning a head-to-head league, and I think
Yeah.
pocket a bit of
Taking home the cash.
take home the cash. So for me, I was
Yeah.
happy with that decision. I was happy to drop 500-600 ranks just because of those couple extra trades. But I do think early in the season, don't be focusing on your head-to-head leagues.
Yeah.
If you want to make two accounts, make one to be your overall, and then make the exact same team if you want, if you think
Yeah.
that's best, and then
Yeah.
focus on head-to-heads and make the odd trade with it. You can do
Yeah.
that. You can do that. But yeah. So yeah, and as I said there, I knew making those trades I was forfeiting sort of that round 27 points. I was going to lose ranks, and it's sort of
Yeah.
living and dying by my own sword, which is your next thing you have to talk about.
That it is. So, my first point was, one of my learnings was very early doors, first handful of rounds, staying with the pack. Um, but in the overall fantasy world, like I think it is really important to live and die by your own sword. We spoke about it's a different landscape these days with podcasts and YouTube videos and Spotify and all that sort of stuff and social media groups and people asking questions of this person or that, and a lot of people giving their 2 cents. And I think in previous years, I relied on that stuff a little bit too much, and just lost myself, and I didn't back my own experiences, my own knowledge, and my own approaches and how I like to go about it. And that stuff just sort of let me down. And you can't be just failing or just slipping ranks due to just pretty much using other people's plays. You're not going to win NRL Fantasy just by copying people's teams or copying the moves of everyone else. So, stay with the pack early doors, yes, especially the cash cows and that. But once you've established that foundation, 8-10 weeks in, just live and die by your own choices. Sure, like you said, collect the information, read and listen, but just make sure that at the end of the day, those trades you're making or the person you're starting and the person you're putting onto the non-scorers is what you truly believe in. That's what you want. That's not what your favorite podcast has said, and it's not what this person or 20 people said on a question on Facebook, whatever it may be. So, that's a big one. And last year I got back to it, worked out in my favor. So, I'll be doing the same again this year.
Definitely got to go with your gut at times, mate. I mean, you've got to make those tough decisions. Sometimes you've got to, take that risk. That it could be a risk. It could keep you up at night. It could keep you, glued to the TV for the full 80 minutes. Nervous just in case. But that's the good thing about fantasy. That's one of the things I love about it is every decision we make on the fantasy app, it makes the real game so much more interesting to watch. And I mean, me personally, I'm glued to every single game. I just about don't miss a minute. If I'm out, I'll be watching every game on repeat, and I won't know the scores. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think from this potty already, Frosty, we've got some good learnings going into next season. Going into this season.
Sorry. 100%. Yeah, I think this is vital, especially like those first year players or second year players that don't have that much experience and it's sort of still new or it's brand new. These learnings that people experience, if you can take those on board and put them in place yourself, you're already ahead of the game.
Too easy. And thanks everyone for watching the Fantasy HQ podcast. We're going to have quite a few more on the way leading up to round 1. So not too far away now from trials. And thanks for joining us, Frosty. We'll see you again next time.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, mate.
Catch you later. We appreciate your support for the Fantasy HQ podcast, all things NRL Fantasy. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify and Facebook. And most importantly, thanks for watching.